Too many liberals give the impression that to them, America is just a big, ugh. The red, white, and ew. And if you don't like it, I don't know how you can say you love this country. You know who loves this country? You know who's not constantly complaining about what happened 200 years ago and who's not obsessed with seeing America through colored glasses and shaking off the stench of what irredeemable privilege we are? Immigrants.
Let's talk about the moment Bill Maher said what a lot of people think but are scared to say out loud. He went after the modern progressive left not for wanting America to improve, but for sounding like they genuinely can't stand the country at all. And if you're already getting mad, breathe. This is commentary about public political messaging and culture. It's not America's perfect speech, and it's not a hate half the country speech either. It's getting out of hand day by day, so don't forget to subscribe because you will not believe what the next video will be about.
Many liberals give the impression that to them, America is just a big, ugh. The red, white, and ew. A country that started out bad and will always be bad, founded on an unrelenting history of sucking and unable to change. But we have changed a lot. Democrat Cori Bush tweeted, "This land is stolen land and black people still aren't free." And this was on the 4th of July. Really? Not that I give a shit about the 4th of July. I've never been a rah-rah guy. But I am a perspective guy. And that's what too much of the left has lost, perspective.
Because Maher's point is pretty simple. Criticism is normal. Contempt is different. And too many people have crossed that line and started acting like hating America is a personality trait. Somewhere along the way, it stopped being, we should fix what's broken, and turned into this place is rotten. And if you don't agree, you're part of the rot. That's the vibe he's calling out. Maher's basically saying, if you truly believe America started evil, stayed evil, and will always be evil, then what exactly are you fighting for? And how do you claim you love something you describe like it's cursed? He mocked the attitude that the flag isn't red, white, and blue anymore. It's red, white, and you. That's the energy he's responding to. Not policy disagreements, not debates about history. The emotional posture that America is fundamentally shameful, and the highest status move is to show how disgusted you are by it.
Honestly, to all the people who start every public event now with one of those land acknowledgements, where they say, "I'm standing on land that was stolen from the proud indigenous people of the Chumash tribe," I say either give it back or shut.
And he didn't just aim it at random Twitter users. He aimed it at an entire style of politics that's become mainstream, the politics of permanent guilt, permanent outrage, and permanent performance. One of the sharpest parts of his argument is about perspective. He basically says the left used to be the side that understood nuance. You can love your country and still criticize it. You can admit the past was ugly and still recognize progress. But now there's this trend where acknowledging any progress is treated like betrayal. Like if you admit improvement exists, you're minimizing something. If you say we've gotten better, someone hears it was never bad. That's not logic, that's a moral panic. Maher's message is America has flaws, but it also has a track record of change. And if you refuse to recognize that, you're not being morally superior, you're being historically blind. Then he brought up a stat that hit like a slap across the face to the doom narrative. He cited polling suggesting a big chunk of young black Americans are optimistic about their future. Now, you can argue over polling, sure, but his point wasn't racism is over. His point was that reality is more complicated than the constant message that everything is hopeless and nothing has ever improved.
If you don't like it, I don't know how you can say you love this country. You know who loves this country? You know who's not constantly complaining about what happened 200 years ago and who's not obsessed with seeing America through colored glasses and shaking off the stench of what irredeemable privilege we are? Immigrants.
Because if the loudest voices online are screaming no one has a future here, but many real people are saying, I actually believe my future can be good, then something doesn't match. And the reason it doesn't match is simple: outrage sells better than hope. Then Maher went after one of the most sacred modern rituals in progressive spaces, the performative apology routine. You know what I mean? The land acknowledgement speeches. Every event starts with someone solemnly reading a script about how they acknowledge they're standing on stolen land. And everyone nods like something profound just happened, and then they move on with their lives, unchanged, comfortable, still holding the same power, still keeping the same land. Maher's take was brutal, but also kind of unavoidable. If you really believe it's stolen, then either do something meaningful about it or stop doing the ceremonial guilt monologue. Because if nothing changes, it's not justice, it's theater.
Ask any of them why they came here, and they will tell you the same thing. Ron DeSantis put me on a plane. But they will also tell you that America, for all that's so shitty about it right now, is still the last best hope. And those people asking for our votes to take it over should remember that.
And that's his bigger critique of woke left culture. It rewards gestures that look virtuous but cost nothing. It creates a world where the goal isn't to improve outcomes, it's to perform goodness in front of your peers. It's activism where the only person helped is the speaker, because now they feel purified. Next, Maher pivots to what he thinks is the ultimate reality check: immigrants. He points out something that shouldn't be controversial, but in 2025 it somehow is. Immigrants often love America, or at least appreciate it in a way that people born here don't. Not because they think America is flawless, but because they've seen the alternative. They've lived in places where corruption is normal, where the state can crush you, where opportunity is a fantasy, where speech gets punished, where the future feels closed. So when they arrive in the US, they don't see a dystopia. They see a place with room to breathe. And Maher basically asks, why is it that the people with the most experience of real hardship are often more grateful for America than the people who treat America like a moral stain? That disconnect drives him insane, because it reveals how protected, spoiled, and insulated some of the loudest critics are. They speak like they're living under tyranny while enjoying freedoms most of the world would kill for.
If for your exile, you do wind up in some comparatively luxurious place like Canada or Japan or the UK, not that they want you. At best, you'll be trading a bunch of stuff you hate about this country for a bunch of stuff you'll soon hate about your new home. It took me only 4 days in Amsterdam to learn that while I admire Amsterdam, I don't want to live there. The buildings are cramped and shaped like needles. The food is awful. The TV's in a different language. It's wet and cold. The people are polite but cold, and they do a bunch of weird shit. The explanation for, according to my friend, was just remember they're high.
He also hits a point that made a lot of people uncomfortable: the way politics got more hateful after elections. After the last election cycle, a lot of liberals didn't just disagree with conservatives. They cut people off. They disowned family members. They treated half the country like it was morally contaminated. Maher warns that this isn't just dramatic, it's self-destructive. If your message is, hate everyone who disagrees with me, you're not building anything. You're just shrinking your coalition and patting yourself on the back for it. And even worse, if you talk like you despise half the country, it starts sounding like you despise the country itself. Because the country is its people. It's not a logo. It's not a slogan. It's 330 million human beings, many of them messy, contradictory, and not online enough to know which words are currently approved. Then he goes after the fantasy that you can just leave and everything will be better. Every time politics heats up, people say they're moving to Canada, Europe, Japan, wherever. Maher's response is basically, good luck. They don't want you. And even if they take you, you're still going to find problems. Different problems, same human nature. You don't escape frustration by switching countries. You just trade one set of annoyances for another. That matters because it ties into his core point. A lot of America hate is not about reality. It's about identity. It's a posture, a signal. It's the idea that saying America is evil makes you sound enlightened. But if you actually compare the US to much of the world, the American system has protections that are rare. Maher highlights freedoms people take for granted: the ability to insult leaders, mock institutions, protest loudly, argue publicly, post insane things online, criticize the government without being dragged away. And once you realize those freedoms are not guaranteed in most places, the America is uniquely oppressive. Scripts start sounding less like truth and more like privilege cosplay. He points out that in many countries, free speech comes with a long list of invisible rules. Say the wrong thing about the wrong group in the wrong tone at the wrong time, and suddenly you're being investigated or punished. And once speech becomes something the state can police based on feelings or fashion, freedom disappears faster than people expect. Maher's warning isn't be blindly patriotic. It's don't be stupid about what you have. Because the real danger isn't that America is uniquely evil. The real danger is that America's freedoms are so normal here that people stop noticing them. And when you stop noticing something, you stop protecting it. That's where his message lands. You can love America and still want it to improve. That's healthy. That's normal. That's how progress happens. But if your entire identity is built around condemning the country, humiliating it, and treating its history like a permanent curse, you're not fixing anything. You're just performing disgust. And the saddest part is this: the people who hate America the loudest often still act like it's the most important place on earth. They still fight to control it. They still want to shape it. They still treat it like the center of the world. Which kind of gives away the truth they don't want to admit. Even with all its flaws, America is still a place people desperately want to live in, argue over, and build a life in. Immigrants know it. People who've lived under real authoritarian systems know it. Maher's message is basically, stop acting like you live in a prison while enjoying a level of freedom most humans never get. So here's the question he forces onto the table. Are we trying to make the country better? Or are we just trying to feel morally superior while tearing it down? Drop your take in the comments, keep it civil. Or don't, it's the internet and everyone's allergic to calm. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to press the subscribe button because we have much more to uncover.